As I said, I was in the Sea Cadets for 3 years prior to going in the Navy, and with having the experience for drilling, that's the reason I joined the Navy. I joined the Navy down in what they call the exhibition. At that time, you know, that's where they had one of the buildings here, and that's where all the Navy was in the automotive building. I don't know if you remember where you go in the Princess Gate, the one on the left.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one we had. The Navy had the whole building. And it was rough. A couple of days we had bad weather, but outside that, just normal, a lot of seasickness.
Did you go over on a troop ship?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the name of it was?
The Amsterdam.
The Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Are there any stories from that journey you can remember, like what you did to pass the time and that sort of thing?
Played cards and just strolled the decks and until you got there. See, what the Amsterdam was so big that the submarines couldn't catch up to her. You know, she was too fast, and she was where it took us 3 days, I think, to go from Halifax to Liverpool. But other ships, the smaller ones, it takes them a week, 2 weeks to get over. The small cargo ships and that. But as you say, when I got there, we went up to Scotland and Belfast, and then we went from Scapa. Yes, well, we knew then that it was coming close, so. But as you say, when they shipped us over to Belfast, we knew that something was coming up, but we had, like when we got on the ship, everybody was there then. We had 987 officers men. That's why we went up to Scapa Flow on workups. A new ship, you had to get used to it. So when we got there and they give us cold weather gear, we thought we were going to Russia. But all of a sudden, we went down to Gibraltar. So we went down to and we only spent 2 days in Gibraltar, and then we went to Malta. Spent a couple of days there. Very, very nice. Malta itself is just a big island, and one was very devastated, But they had, I think I have pictures here. I don't know if I have one or not. But all the people lived underground, at big catacombs. When the bombing was on, all the people went underground, and but it was nice, very, very well populated. And on some of these pictures, you'll see I got with me as in the Navy, in my uniform, taking in the gardens in Malta. Very nice, and I'd like to go again, but as you say, now it's just a little too late.
Yeah.
But as you say, and then I went to other places, Alexandria. I was only there a couple of days, but we got ashore for the day, and but it was big, it was huge, And then we went down. When we left there, we went down to the Suez, down through the canal, long trip, and we get down to the bottom, what we call Aden, and we were there for just refueling ship, and then when we left there. Well, when we were going through the Med, we had 5 destroyers, and we had 4 big troop ships, because we were on our way to like Hong Kong for the invasion of Japan. But when we got into the Med, they dropped those 2 bombs on Hiroshima, and then everything was finished. So the 4 troop ships turned around and come back with their people, Army people, and I guess wherever they went back, I don't know where they ended up in, but everything just finished. But on the way through the Med, we still had the destroyers with escorts, and when we went down to Aden, we went to Colombo, Ceylon, spent a couple of days there, which was very interesting. And then we went to Trincomalee, which is now called Sri Lanka, and that was the whole East India fleet was based. There must have been about 300 or 400 ships in the harbor. So when we left her, we went to Hong Kong, We went, tied up there, and we put 600 guys ashore, and all they did was patrol the streets. And they had we had a big headquarters set up for the 600. And I was one of the fortunate ones. I had to stay on board ship. Didn't get to see too much, but you know, in our period of time, we did get a chance to go ashore, browse around, you know, and shop. Went through that typhoon to pick up the tanker, and then that wasn't too bad. We brought her back. When we got there, we had to go through the typhoon, which said the waves were 60, 70 feet high. And with being a big ship, you didn't feel it just as much, you know. Like when we went through, the whole front of the ship went down, and the 4 screws, we have 4 screws on the back, they come out, we're spinning in the air until she went back down, and then you could feel it. But we went there, when we got there, there was a little tug, a 100-ton tug, ocean-going tug, was towing the tanker. Well, there was 100 men on her, you know. We felt kind of sorry for them because when we went there, we were up, and then you couldn't see them. They were down in the swell.
How big was the cruiser, the Ontario, that you were on?
The cruiser weighed 11,500 ton, and it was 666 foot long. So you imagine it was almost a city block long.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, maybe the size of a baseball football field.
Yeah, a couple of them, you found.
Yeah, maybe 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what was your specific role on the ship? Did you have a specific station?
I was on the Twin Fours gunnery. I was at gunnery rating, and we were on Twin Fours, and on the Ontario we had 9 6-inch, like 3 triple turrets of 6-inch, 2 forward, 1 back aft, and then we have 5 mountings of Twin Fours. You'll see a picture of them in here. We were on those, and we had 5 mountings of those. So we were fairly heavily armed, you know, for a cruiser.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the River Plate with the business.
Yeah, in South America.
When she would come out, well, there was 3 cruisers. There was I forget the name of them, but they were about the same size as what we were. But they were just what they call heavy cruisers. They had 8-inch guns, where we only had 6. But they were there for quite a while, you know, and so just waiting for her to come out. But when they did come out of the harbor, they figured there was more Navy ships here. That's why they scuttled it, you know. But outside they wouldn't have had a chance, you know.
Okay.
But they lost us. They had left a lot of men there, and only a skeleton crew. They were taken off before they scuttled it.
Okay.
You know,
Keep a journal or diary during the war?
no, I didn't. That's one thing I didn't do, and I kind of kick myself now that I didn't, you know.